Hi everyone, I am your explainer, and today in this video I am going to explain about SpaceX Mega Rocket Project, how SpaceX made it possible to launch rocket into the space. As we all know, SpaceX was founded on March 14, 2000 by Elon Musk. The main aim is to lowering the price of space travel and eventually creating a viable Mars colony. Currently, the business manages the Dragon and Starship spacecraft in addition to the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets. Space research organizations like NASA, ISRO, European Space Agency and many more are giving their best to explore the space. NASA and SpaceX are investing much more to explore and find the hidden details of the universe. NASA worth of $25.4 billion in fiscal year FY 2023 and SpaceX has around $180 billion valuation as of December 2023. Today in this video, I am going to talk about SpaceX Starship. How SpaceX was able to successfully launch this mega rocket into the space after several failures. By this date, SpaceX have made total 320 launches, out of which 284 were successful tested landings and 254 were total reflights. On the 17th of April 2023, first attempt was made to send rocket into the space. At Starbase, the Starship and Super Heavy stack was prepared for launch at 8:20 am on March 20th, 1320 UTC, after being loaded with propellant. Nevertheless, Booster 7's frozen pressurization valve forced the launch to be aborted at T8:05. SpaceX Launch Control attempted to resolve the issue prior to the abort in order to move forward with a launch that same day. However, because to the valve's poor reactivity, SpaceX had to modify the planned mission to a wet dress rehearsal, which ended at T40 seconds. It would take SpaceX at least 48 hours to get ready for a retry. On April 20th, 2023, 62-minute launch window opened at 8:28 am. The spacecraft skidded off the launch pad to the side after 3 of its engines failed to ignite during liftoff. During flight, some Raptor engines failed. About 27 seconds into the flight, some kind of energetic even caused SpaceX to lose contact with another engine. After launching for 85 seconds, SpaceX was unable to direct the rocket due to a loss of thrust vector control over its 13 core engines. The vehicle increased in altitude to roughly 39 kilometers 24 miles before losing it and going into a spin. Its AFTS autonomous flight termination system then kicked in. The Starship did not explode, with the booster engines still firing, until 40 seconds after the AFTS was activated, roughly 4 minutes into the flight. At a height of 29 kilometers 18 miles, the AFTS was designed to destroy the vehicle instantly. The Federal Aviation Administration did not report any injuries or damage to public property. After the launch, 85 seconds in the air, SpaceX was unable to maintain thrust vector control over the 13 center engines. In the event that regulatory clearance was obtained, SpaceX again planned to launch on November 17th. But due to pending regulatory approvals, on November 18th, at 13:02 UTC, the second integrated flight test was attempted to be launched for the first time. Ship 25 and Booster 9 lifted off the launch pad. There were no recorded anomalies when the rocket reached its maximum aerodynamic stress. Starship powered down all 3 of Super Heavy's Raptor engines and ignited the 6-second stage Raptor engines before executing a successful separation of the vehicles. After stage separation, Super Heavy began its flip maneuver and later, its boost back burn. To move the rocket toward its planned landing spot, the flight computers instructed 13 of the vehicle's 33 Raptor engines to fire. Several engines started to shut down during this burn, and eventually one of them failed, causing the booster to explode. Around 3.5 minutes into the flight, at an altitude of around 90 kilometers above the Gulf of Mexico, the Super Heavy vehicle broke up. The rocket reached a height of 148 kilometers above the common bounds of space and a velocity of around 24,000 kilometers per hour, thanks to all 6 of Starship's second stage Raptor engines. This made Starship the first spacecraft to reach outer space and almost complete its full duration burn. On March 14, 2024, Starship conducted its third test flight and successfully finished a full-duration second-stage burn. reaching the desired orbital velocities for the first time. However, Starship broke apart during re-entry in the atmosphere. The Super Heavy first stage booster has dimensions of 9 meter by 50 meter in height and width. It has 33 Raptor engines in rings that are concentric. In order to reduce weight and costs, the outermost ring of 20 engines is equipped with Raptor boost configurations, which do not include gimbal actuators. The total thrust produced by all engines operating at full power is 74,400 kilonewtons. The booster's tanks can hold 7,500,000 pounds of propellant, consisting of 5,840,000 pounds of liquid oxygen and 1,650,000 pounds of liquid methane, for body flaps to a forward and to aft are used by the spacecraft to regulate its orientation and aid in energy dissipation during atmospheric arrival. SpaceX claims that the flaps eliminate the requirement for wings and a tailplane, while also lowering the amount of fuel required for landing. Hardpoints beneath the forward flaps are where the mechanical arms are utilized to raise and capture the spacecraft. Aero covers are used to seal the flaps hinges because re-entry would easily damage them otherwise. NASA, which is spending $4 billion building Starship, was eagerly awaiting the trip, which was SpaceX's third test flight of the Starship system. In the first 2 human landings since the Apollo era, it plans to send astronauts to the moon using this technique. The enormous, nearly 400-foot-tall spacecraft is also intended to be used by SpaceX for the launch of their upcoming Starlink broadband satellite generation. The scientific community is keen to use it for the launch of massive telescopes and devices into orbit. The rocket reached a speed of over 16,000 miles per hour during its voyage, which was sufficient to put the spacecraft into an orbit around the Earth. Rather, above the Indian Ocean, SpaceX gave the order for the spacecraft to re-enter the atmosphere. It failed to survive after colliding into the thickening atmosphere, producing heat of almost 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. As it started to tumble as it descended back to Earth over the Gulf of Mexico, the rocket was also lost. Nevertheless, it was by far the most successful Starship trip. After each and every Starship launch, SpaceX is learning and slowly achieving their goals. Starship 3 have some key capabilities that can take humanity to next level for future developments. Starship can carry 100 people on long-duration, interplanetary flights. It will enable satellite delivery for the development of moon base. Starship is designed to deliver the payloads farther with lower marginal cost. We can transfer satellites, large space telescopes and cargo to the moon, Mars, and beyond. For developing moon base, SpaceX need to transport large amount of cargo. For that, SpaceX have designed the rocket to carry building blocks and human space flight developments. Interplanetary transportation could be carried out by transporting significant quantities of cargo and crew. Starship is using fully reusable system that uses on-orbit propellant transfer to enable the transport of up to 100 people to Mars and other galaxy destinations. The high-speed rocket can complete international trips in less than 30 minutes. In addition, while traveling outside of Earth atmosphere, ship can give us great benefits. SpaceX rockets have an option of on-orbit refilling. It can refill Starship spacecraft in low Earth orbit prior to departing for Mars. Refilling means it enables the transport up to 100 tons all the way to Mars. The primary cost is just oxygen and methane, which is extremely low. As mentioned earlier, SpaceX and NASA are working collaboratively to go beyond our imagination. In the near future, we can see many distant projects which can help to find the secrets in our universe. Thanks for watching video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more informative videos.